Hello, welcome to Stamp Designs with Denise. I'm Denise Johnson. I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up! In Bedford, New Hampshire. And welcome to my video today. I will be showcasing some alternate projects using the Paper Pumpkin Kit Jolly Gingerbread from November of 2020. So if you're watching this video, I'd appreciate it if you would give me a thumbs up or leave some comments. If you do leave a comment, you'll be entered into a raffle, and anyone that is entered into the raffle gets a chance to win 3 handmade cards from me. If you win, I will send you a quick note where you left the comment, and you can private message me your address, and I will get those handmade cards off in the mail to you. The Paper Pumpkin is a monthly subscription kit from Stampin' Up! And you get it each month. You can either subscribe on a monthly basis, or my recommendation would be that you buy a prepaid subscription. If you get a 6-month prepaid or a 12-month prepaid, you will save some money off the total cost. And if you get a 12-month subscription, then you can also get some Stampin' Up! Rewards, which is free product, and that's always a bonus to get some extra stuff. As a bonus, anyone that subscribes to me for Paper Pumpkin, they will get a monthly PDF emailed to them, and it contains at least 10 alternate projects for that month's Paper Pumpkin kit. It's a really great resource. It really gives your kit some stretch, and you can get a lot of great ideas from that. So that's just a perk of being a Paper Pumpkin subscriber of mine. So consider doing that. All the links will be in my video for either subscribing to Paper Pumpkin, purchasing the prepaid subscriptions, or also a link to my blog. On my blog is where I show all of the measurements and pictures of the cards and projects that I'm making today. So I'm going to get my camera flipped around, and we're going to get started having some fun with this gingerbread kit. It's really cute, has some cute embellishments with it. So let me get this turned around and we'll get started. So this month's kit is the Jolly Gingerbread kit. This is how the box was when it came, and as you know, everything that you need to make the projects shown are in your kit. It has a stamp spot, it has adhesives. This I really like. It's called Tear and Tape. Stampin' Up! Sells it separately, but you got some in your kit today to help you put the gift card holders together. It's a really strong adhesive for using on 3D projects. And so this is what it made. These were the 3 different options you could use the kit supplies to make. So as you can see, they hold the little gift card, or I also stuck a little bit of money in one. And you know, you can pretty much put anything nice and flat inside of it. And they do come with these pre-printed envelopes for the gift cards. I think they're too small to be mailed, but you could certainly stick it inside of another card and mail it. So let's get started. My first project is going to be a box, either like a little candy box or a little gift box. But so when I saw this, I thought that it was really cute, and we could attach them together and make a little box of it. So I'm going to make my base first for this. So what I have is a piece of cinnamon cider cardstock, and it's 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. And I'm going to use my paper trimmer, and I'm going to score the sides at 3/4 of an inch, all 4 sides. So just put it in, score, score, and score. Okay, so let me show you how I cut this and put together the base of our little treat box. So I'm gonna fold this first. It just helps see those score lines a little bit better for when I cut them. So I'm just gonna cut down on the score line, and then I cut out a little notch on this. It just helps when you're folding it over, if your cut is not straight, to get it lined up a little better. So those on that one side, and then I'm going to flip it over to the other side and do the same thing. And then a little notch, and then cut here, and then a little notch. And so now we'll use that tear and tape, and I'm going to put a piece on each of these 4 little tabs that I've created. I made that one a little long, but this is what's great about tear and tape. It tears nicely off. Okay, now I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool. If you don't have nails, this is a great way to just remove these little tabs. And so I'm going to fold this up, match up my edges, and make this little box. So this is going to be our base. So let's get our stamping done. So these elements all came inside the kit. This is the front of the house. It's got the pre-printed gumdrops on it, and the little heart punch out and the door punch out. And I'm going to set these aside because I'm going to use these on a card later. And then this is plain. This is for the back of the house. So let's do some of our stamping. I've already mounted all of these stamps come with this kit, and the kit comes with a Blushing Bride stamping spot, and I have the bigger size of that, so I'm going to use my bigger size. So we're going to add our little filigree pattern around our door, and this is exactly the same thing that was done inside for the kit, for the projects in the kit. I'm just decorating it exactly the same. So we'll stamp that, and then we'll do the back as well. And then the back did not have a back door, but this is where you could put your to and from sentiment. And the kit came with these adorable candies. They're puffy. I remember when I was a kid, puffy stickers were the big rage. So I'm going to take one of these, and I'm going to put this one on the back, because this did not have a window cutout like that one did. So there we have that, and I'm going to attach this one to the front where the door is. And then we will attach this one, which will become the back of this box, and I'm going to put that one over the other door. Now, using our tear and tape, we're going to attach these houses together and make a square. So I'm going to put one here on this tab. So for the kit, you would have just folded this over like this and made your little gift card holder. But we want to make a square box. So we're going to and then let me just get these nice and creased. We'll peel off our tear and tape cover. And we're going to line up our house here on the fold. And then this one, when we fold it over, should just match up nicely that way. There we go. So now you see we have this nice square, and we have our base that we made. So this is going to go on the inside like this. So you can, at this point, you can use tear and tape to put it in there. You have to be very careful when you're attaching it because the tear and tape is very, very sticky, and you want to make sure you get it all the way in flush before it adheres. So I'm actually going to use some of the Tombow glue, and I'm just putting it on the 3 sides right now because I want to be able to hold this side. And I like the glue because it's a little bit forgiving, and it doesn't immediately adhere, and it gives you a little bit of room to wiggle and get it into place. So once I get those corners tucked in, I'm actually going to then put the glue here and carefully slide it in so it's flush with the bottom here. And now, using my bone folder, I'm just going to push it against the edges here so that it sticks. And then it'll take a couple, maybe a minute or so, just to make sure it's all stuck on good. So this is our house all put together, and I went to the store and found these Reese's Nutcrackers. I love nutcrackers. If you visit my house during the holidays, I have nutcrackers going up my stairs. I have nutcrackers all over the place. So I thought these would be really cute. My husband loves Reese's, so I thought together, nutcrackers and Reese's, you couldn't go wrong. And then I opened up the package and I looked at these little guys, and they have the scariest teeth. And look at their eyeballs are bulging out of their heads. So I don't know how cute these nutcrackers are, but my husband will be thrilled to receive this little box of Reese's peanut butter nutcrackers at the holidays. So really cute box, very easy to make that bottom. So I hope you enjoyed that, and let's move on and we will get to our next card. So for this next card, I'm sorry, I kind of partly did it and then realized that my video was no longer turned on. So I will review what I've done up to this point and then finish making the card with you. So I started with one of these gift card holders. The one with the yellow door is the one that I like because it has the brick work on the bottom. I cut it in half, and then I cut the bottom off of that back section. And this one I'm going to set aside and use on another card. And so then for this, I stamped with the white craft ink with one of those filigree patterns. And then I have this door in the heart that I had taken off the first project that we made. And then I stamped this with that filigree pattern in the Blushing Bride ink. So I stamped the top, and then I stamped the bottom so that my door had some detail on it. And then we have that heart. And then I also stamped the sentiment. This comes with the kit. The sentiment is wishing you a jolly Christmas, which is also on the stamp set that's in the kit. And I stamped that in the shaded spruce ink. So then I also have the shaded spruce layer of paper, which is 4 by 5 1/4, and I have attached my designer series paper, which was 4 by 4. The designer series paper comes from this 'Tis the Season. These are all the different patterns that come in that paper pack. This is the pattern that I used, and then these are coordinating colors that go with that paper pack. So I have my card base. It's 8.5 by 5.5. I've scored it at 4 1/4. So we will just get this. So, and also when I did my stamping with the craft ink, it goes on a little bit wet. So I did this first, and then I set it aside so that it would dry while I did my other stamping, and attached this so that now when I go to use it, I'm not going to smudge the white ink that's on it. So let me set this aside, and then I want to put a ribbon across here, across the top. So I have several different ribbons that I liked. This is a cinnamon cider, this is the twine, and then this is a braided ribbon. And I decided that I'm going to do the cinnamon cider. It matches the color of the gingerbread house, but I think any neutral ribbon that you have would be great. And here I have my bow maker, and it's just a piece of wooden block. It has holes drilled in it. They're 1/2 inch apart, and then I have 2 wooden pegs. And then I find this is a super easy way for me to make my bows. So loop it around, go over, make my knot on the back, straighten it out, center my knot in the middle, and then there we go. A little crooked, but so I'm going to attach this across right through there. So let me trim this, move this other stuff out of my way. And I have found that if we take a little bit of tear and tape and just put this on the back where my ribbon is going to hit, then I can line it up on the front and tuck it around, and it will adhere to that tape. There, and then it's nice and straight on the front, and as you can see on the back, I've got it adhered to the back of that with that. Now I'm going to adhere this to my card base. And let's get our house decorated. So I'm going to put the door on with some Stampin' Dimensionals, and dimensionals are included in your kit, which is really nice. They always give you more than enough. So I'm going to put our door right there. I have this little heart that I'm going to use a mini glue dot on. Put that right there. And then I'm going to use some of my candy stickers because they're so darn cute. Let's see. Maybe I'll do the Blushing Bride ones because they match my color I put on my door. And then let's get some more dimensionals. I'm going to get some bigger ones. And we will pop up our house on our card front. And then this is that brick layer that I had cut off the front of my house. I'm going to put it up here just as an added detail for my sentiment. So I'm going to adhere that right in the middle and then use dimensionals to pop up my sentiment. Put that in the middle. Right there. And then I also had these in color enamel dots, and I'm going to use the cinnamon cider one, and I'm going to put a little doorknob on my door. Right there. There we go. And that is our cute little gingerbread card. Okay, so let's get our next card made. Okay, for our next card, we have our card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We have a piece of the Classic Christmas Designer Series paper. It is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. This is a new paper that was released at the beginning of November, is only available at November and December. It comes in this Sahara Sand, Cherry Cobbler, and Shaded Spruce colors, and has varied patterns. That's the back side of that one. I have a scrap piece of soft suede. I have one of the envelopes that came in the kit. I also have a label that came in the kit for sentiment, and then I have some of these Star Designer elements. So I am going to use the craft white ink again, stamping this first, and this time we're using that whole little gingerbread house, and we're going to do that in the white. So I'm just going to stamp this on my scrap piece of paper. And as you can see, it's a little bit wet and tacky, so I just set this aside so that it will dry while I work on some of my other card elements. So what I want to do is I'm going to cut the inside of this envelope because I want to use this Designer Series paper that's on the inside. So I'm going to carefully try and open this up without ripping the printed side of the envelope. And then I'm going to use my paper trimmer, and we're going to cut it. Cut all the flaps off of this. Okay, so now I want a piece of paper that's about 1 inch by about 4 1/4. So that's an inch, and then see if this is about 4 1/4. Yep, pretty much exactly. So that's good. So this piece I'm going to set aside for a different project. So the inside of these envelopes are always kind of great because they've got some really nice printed paper in there, and it's nice when you can cut it open and use it on your cards. So let's get our sentiments stamped. This is a Calypso Coral color, so I'm going to use Calypso Coral ink, and we're going to do that wishing you a jolly Christmas again. Let's see, stamp that. I did it a little bit on the right side of that, and I'm going to put a little embellishment there. So let's set this aside, and now I think this is dry now. So I am going to fussy cut this out, and I will be right back. Okay, so I have got my little house all cut out that I cut out with my paper snips, and we're going to get our card layered up here. So I'm attaching my Designer Series paper to my card base. And then that printed piece of paper from the inside of the envelope, just put along the bottom here. I'm going to use some dimensionals from my house. We will use some dimensionals to pop up our sentiment as well. And then I have these star elements that I'm going to put a few on my card in my night sky, and maybe add one right here. There we go. And there's our gingerbread house on this card with some sparkling stars. So for my last card, I wanted to make a slim line card. These seem to be all the rage lately on Stampin' Up! And card making sites. So a slimline card is a card that will fit inside one of these business, what I call a business envelope. Stampin' Up! Does not sell these business size envelope. This is just one from my husband's office that I have. So in order to make this, then I have made, cut my white cardstock. My Whisper White cardstock is 9 1/4 by 7 1/2. And then I've scored this at 3 3/4. So let's score that. So this is going to be a, a really nice, long, thin card. I have a layer of Poppy Parade that is 9 inches by 3 1/2. And I'm going to just adhere this right now to the card base. There we go. And then I'm going to put that aside with the envelope. Now I have a layer of Whisper White. This is, I'm sorry, I told you the wrong measurements. My Poppy Parade was 9 1/8 by 3 5/8. So my Whisper White layer is 9 inches by let me look at my cheat sheet so I get this right. 9 inches by 3 1/2. And now I have 3 scrap pieces of paper of soft suede, cinnamon cider, and crumb cake. And then I have another layer of Poppy Parade, and this is 2 inches by 3 3/4 inches. And I have a Whisper White layer that is 1 3/4 inches by 3 1/2. 3. I guess that should be a 1/4 inch shorter than that. So let me just see. So this is, yes, this should be 3 1/2. So let's just quickly make that the right length. I will put all the correct measurements on my blog, and there will be a link on the video to my blog so that you can get that correct, which I will have correct when I have it posted. Sorry about that. So let me stamp my 3 browns first, because we're going back and we're using that craft white again. And I'm going to stamp the house again, and I want to just set these aside so they dry while I'm doing my other stamping. Okay, so we have our three houses done. Let's put those aside so they will dry. And then on my Whisper White layer, I have this filigree pattern, and I'm going to stamp in Shaded Spruce. And I can't tell if that's inked up enough. Yep, okay. So we're going to do 3 of these across here. Just a little bit of space between them. Okay. And now I'm going to do my sentiment. So for this, I'm actually using a sentiment from the Itty Bitty Christmas stamp set. This has a lot of great different, quite a variety of sentiments. So I like the Have a Sugared Sprinkled Season, and I also liked From Our House to Yours, because I'm going to put those 3 houses on this. But I think I finally decided that I would use the Have a Sugar Sprinkled Season, because I'm going to use some more of those really cute candy dots on this card. So here's my stamp, and I am going to do that in Poppy Parade. And I'm just going to sort of do this right in the middle. I didn't seem to have that dark enough. Let's try the other side. There's always 2 sides to every piece of paper, so I just want my ink a little bit darker. Yes, that came out better. So let's set these aside, and I'm going to make this into a banner that's going to come down this side of the card. So I have my triple banner punch, and this is 1 3/4 wide, so we'll slide it in, punch, and then this is 2 inches wide, so we'll slide that in, punch. Now we'll attach the banners together. use some dimensionals. Okay, and attach that there. And then let's get our houses. So they've just sat long enough. They just really need about a minute or so to sit and so that the white dries and you don't smudge it when you use it. And I am going to use my paper snips and we're going to cut these out and I will be right back. Okay, so here are my 3 houses. So I'm going to line them up like this on here. And there is, in this stamp set, there's these little like filigree, which we're going to use to decorate some envelopes. But I thought that we could also use it as some smoke coming out of our chimneys. So I want to use a pencil and put a little dot right where my chimney is, so that I know where to put the smoke. And let's go back to our shaded spruce. And I'm going to put some smoke coming out of my chimneys. Okay, I had some ink on my finger. I got a little bit of a smudge on that. Okay, now we can attach our houses with the dimensionals. I want to put the cinnamon cider house in the middle. The crumb cake one on the left side. And then the soft suede on the end. And then let's add in a few of these candies. Now we can attach this to our card face. And there we go. This is my first ever slimline card, so I hope you like that. I had fun designing that, and definitely a lot bigger, different than I normally do. So here's our envelope, and so I'm going to add some designs onto that as well. So let's get out our little squiggles here. So I'm going to use this smaller one and maybe put some of these in the corner. of the front. There we go. And then the stamp will go there, so I'm not going to do that corner. And then on the back, we could do this nice big one right in the middle of the flap, like that. And so then you could do the same thing with the other envelopes for the other cards. So we have that one. Let me get these inks cleaned off. Okay, we have two other envelopes here for our two other cards. So we can do the same thing. Let's see, we'll do Calypso Coral on this one because it will match this card. And then on our back, we'll do the big one right in the middle. There. And our last card, let's clean off this ink and we'll do it in probably the shaded spruce to match that card. Okay, so I've got out my shaded spruce and we will stamp the corners of the front of our envelope. And we'll put the big one right in the back of the envelope. There we go. How fun is that? So I hope you have enjoyed this, and let's get our treat box out with our candies that we can put in there. Really cute slimline card and the other two cards. So there we go. So I really hope you've enjoyed this. I really hope I've inspired you and given you some ideas for your paper pumpkin kit. Again, my blog is Stamp Designs with Denise. All of the pictures and measurements will be on my blog. So please visit that and subscribe if you'd like to keep receiving notifications of videos and to get all of the recipes for my cards. Remember to leave a little sparkle wherever you go.